Hello, sumo fans. My apologies. I told you it was kind of a crazy week for me, so I got here as close to 9:30 as possible and hope that you are all eagerly awaiting my fantastic commentary, as I've been told. I don't know if it's true or not, but, I'll take it. Okay, so let me just get through my notes here who are kind of turned around. Okay. Oh, I think I need to do one more thing. It's showing up as unlisted. Okay, not sure if you guys saw that or not because it was unlisted. Now it's public. So I'll go through that whole thing again. Hello, sumo fans. I am late, but only by 9 minutes this time. I hope you're all ready to discuss an action-packed day. Hello, Mitch. As the title says, it's starting to get fun again. All Might is here. Good to see you, All Might. And I think we're all ready to just kind of get into this. So I still haven't had much time to watch Jurio, but I did watch Kusano versus Roga. I'm happy to say. What an interesting match that was. Roga hit, like the clash was so aggressive and fast that it almost looked like Kusano was dazed a little bit and it was like, okay, we're doing this, which I found funny because here's Roga, a top division guy for several tournaments now. So, yeah, he got a little taste of what top division life is like. And it's looking like Kisano might wind up in the top division next tournament. I mean, certainly if he Zensho Yushos, he's in. So I haven't even had an opportunity to really examine this guy, and he might be someone we're talking about in the 42 just next tournament. So very exciting. Very cool. He's a big dude. I can't wait to see him fight Onosato. So I'll read a couple of these comments so I don't get super far behind before I go through my recap. Goose ain't going to be happy that he has to see Billy right when he enters the stream. I know, that's why I did it. I'm just going to put Mr. Shishi right on the front cover here. Shishi versus... Oh, first, I golf clap your slight tardiness as opposed to a severe tardiness. I appreciate that, Mitch. You may be someone who challenges, but you're often fair. Shishi versus Wakamoto Haru was hilarious, but not in any way I thought it would be. Yeah, I can't wait to go over that match because I have raw notes for what I was thinking. Shishi Kachikoshi against Wakamoto Haru. Precisely. Kusano was a college Yokozuna. Well, he certainly, he's got the size, he's got the skill, and he's got the attitude. I'm excited. People told me to get excited. I'm excited. Not going to lie, I couldn't care less about the Sekitori divisions. I'm just rooting for the possibility of a 12-way playoff in Sandame. That would be spectacular. It's the tournament within the tournament. That would be spectacular. I love it. All right, let me start my notes. I'll try to go as fast as I can because you guys were... you had the comments all over. I was way behind the whole night. Anyway, so Mitaki Yumi survives by the skin of his teeth to fight another day. We discussed this in the preview show. He should have been able to cruise right through this. Obviously, things are very wrong. It could be that thigh injury that he sustained a couple tournaments ago where he had to be stretchered out. But it could also be just an accumulation of all the battles, mental and physical, that it's just time. And finally, he just doesn't have the drive he once had. So the tough thing about sumo is you're going to get knocked around so much that your internal drive can never, let up. Or it's like, what am I doing? Why am I in the ring basically getting hit by a car for 15 days? Just to go back to my stable to get hit by motorcycles. Because we're not quite giving the car energy, but we're giving motorcycle energy. Why would I do this? If I wasn't slightly crazy, but mostly like crazy in love. You have to be crazy in love with sumo to put yourself through this. So I think Takayumi's falling out of love. I'll say that. The injuries and the behind the scenes things that have happened to him is definitely at a place where it's contributing. So I don't know how much longer we're going to have Takayumi, but we shall see. Next we have Aoi Nishiki versus Meisei. That was an awesome fight. Like a straight up, let's just brawl kind of thing. Aoi Nishiki looks really excellent. He doesn't look like the rookie. He looks like someone who has been doing this a very long time, who knows what he's doing. Unlike Shishi, he looks very comfortable out there, and he's very good at what he does. And, he made big promises. He wanted double digits. He wanted to win a special prize. Apparently, when this man says he's going to do something, he's really, really serious. So a man that, keeps his word is inspiring. So he's 9-3. He's still in this. It's going to get interesting tomorrow for sure. I don't think he's going to win it, but boy, the fact that he's even in it makes things extra exciting. And like I was saying yesterday, and it always seems to be the case with day 11, day 10 and day 11. You're kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling it. I don't really know what the storylines are. I don't know where this is headed. All of a sudden, day 12 comes and things start to line up and things start to get interesting. So unfortunate for Meisei because he's been fighting a lot better this tournament. He is 7-5. He really wants to get that Kachikoshi tomorrow. Just get it out of the way. You don't want a chance of 7-7 on the last day. Endo. Can we talk about Endo? Okay. He's edging closer and closer to just like a complete physical collapse. Now, John and I were talking about this, and he's like, well, it's kind of nice to see Ikioi again. While I agree with that, because what we mean by that is just the spirit. Like, here is a broken man, but he has so much spirit. He's still out there. He's literally, like, putting his body on the line, and he still wins the match, even though it's like he shouldn't be there. There is something very enticing about that and impressive. But I will say that I think he's way worse off than Ikioi was, and I also think this is concussion stuff. Yes, the knee is almost like a red herring, right? The way he landed, you could almost picture like his head, like the inside of his head, his brain's bouncing around, and it's a little shocking to watch a concussed person fight over and over again, and even the commentators are like, yeah, he looks okay, he got back up. It's like, yeah, he shouldn't be out there. I can't comment, like, we do things differently in America, so I don't want to be judging other cultures or other sports things. It's not my place to judge, but I will say that man doesn't belong out there. He is severely concussed. He should be careful that he doesn't destroy his life fighting in this situation. I hope he gets his Kachikoshi and drops out, and he needs to heal. I'm far more concerned about his head than his knee. You kind of need your head for the rest of your life. Your knee, yeah, it's nice to walk, but it's better to be able to think and breathe and all the things that your brain controls. I suppose you won't be able to walk either if your brain shuts down. So, Endo, I'm holding my breath. I hope you're okay to get through, but you look horrible. Next, we have Hakuoho versus Hiraomi. An example of a match that could have been great, but it was ruined by the whole hit and shift. It is what it is. They aren't necessarily there just to entertain us. You got to get your wins, but I really wanted more of a clash at the center. What can you do? Next, Atami Fuji versus Ura. So Atami Fuji took my advice, because all these guys are listening to my podcast to prepare for their next match. And he went for the Kimidashi, but Ura, and I don't know if this was like a stroke of inspiration, which happens with him, but he got really deep inside and he just busted the grip. So that was a nice counter. That was exactly the way you should handle the Kimidashi. Now, Atami Fuji can employ that a lot easier on someone that's easier to pin. I mean, Ura's just so wiggly. He knows how to get out of almost anything. So I guess the Kimidashi doesn't work against him. However, other guys should take note should he decide to use that against them. So Ura, just a delight as always. He is close to Makikoshi with that 5 and 7, but he's got the Osaka crowd. Perhaps he will do a miracle thing and get his Kachikoshi for the fans. Ichi Yamamoto versus Tobizaru. I was actually kind of excited for this match, and I never got a chance last night to talk about it because I was far behind in the comments, and also I didn't have a great day yesterday, so my mind was a little off. Perhaps that's why you got the rants that you got. So it's good for the rants, but it's not good for focusing. So when I saw this matchup today, I was like, oh yeah, like this I think is going to be interesting. And to me, it didn't disappoint. I do think Ichi Yamamoto's footwork has improved a lot. And it's interesting to see these two sort of wily characters. What strategies are they going to employ? Tobizaru, he won that simply by pulling the arm back and just, prepared to go face first if he had to win. I do admire that grit that Tobizaru has. He kind of has that win at all costs attitude without being someone who hankas. So it was a nice, interesting match between the two of them. And, we haven't had much good to say about Tobizaru this tournament, so good on him. Ichi Yamamoto, he's headed for a 7 and 7, like we said. Now, let's talk about Shishi Wakamoto Haru. First note I have is Shishi Kachikoshi. No, I don't think I can slander him today. Literally what happened when I watched that match was that I was stunned into silence. I almost couldn't, it took me about 20 seconds to comprehend what I had just watched. I'm like, did Shishi really just beat Wakamoto Haru on the belt and just kind of toss him out like, this is my ring? What in the world? He's still a very awkward, weird guy, and he couldn't even help himself. He was still wiggling his fingers on one hand. But I was impressed. How does this guy go from looking totally outmatched 2 tournaments ago to getting his Kachikoshi? And also, he won the Juryo Yusho. There is some great potential in this man. If he can figure out the awkwardness, he might be somebody that, you forget all about this first part of his career. And I've heard some people compare him to Tochinoshin, which sounds almost kind of laughable. But who knows? I mean, if he gets in the gym and bulks up those shoulders, I don't know. I can see some similarities. Certainly in the way he fights at the edge of the ring. I mean, we do know Tochinoshin blew out his knees doing things like that, but Tochinoshin, wasn't as successful as he got at the end of his career. He had all kinds of problems. The Tochinoshin that everybody remembers now, Ozeki Tochinoshin, that was at the very end of his career. So, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but keep an eye on Shishi. I mean, there's something there. There's something there. Okay, Tamawashi versus Kirishima. Now, Tamawashi is still in the Yusho hunt. Crazy enough. 40-year-old Tamawashi, man. He's like, why not? Why don't I just give my fans what they want? He does to Kirishima what Takayasu should have done to Kirishima. He just blasts him out. I mean, don't give Kirishima an opportunity to figure something out on you. Just let it be. Because his mind is always moving, and if you make a mistake, he will capitalize on it. Just blast him out because he's not in the best of shape right now. That neck is not happy. So Tamawashi stays in the Yusho, and Kirishima is 1 loss away from a Makikoshi. This is a devastating situation for him, but unfortunately, this is the reality of his career now. So we're just going to have to watch and see what happens. Next, we have Abi versus Chiranaomi. Here's the thing about Abi, right? Abi is never down forever, especially when it gets to the end of the tournament. He seems to like to mess around and mess up people's tournaments. So he comes alive. He looks very in command when he, blasts Chirano Umi out. But, this is also to be expected. Chirano Umi, this is his first time getting a shot at all the top guys, even being in a Yusho consideration for a little bit. It's like going through the gauntlet now. This is to be expected. Poor guy. He will get a nice jump up after this, so this he can consider to be practice for how much harder it's gonna get. It's like you get punished for having a good tournament. That's how martial arts work. The higher the rank, the more likely you're going to be a rookie all over again. So we're having fun, though. We're enjoying Chirano Umi's sumo. Everybody wanted him to do this well, and he is not disappointing. So he's just got to kind of survive the rest of the tournament. He got his Kachikoshi. Just don't get hurt out there. I knock on wood. That's what we got to hope for. So then we had Takayasu versus Oho. So Oho was, if he lost, he'd go Makikoshi. Takayasu trying to stay tied for the lead in the Yusho race. So Takayasu wins this match. He's not ready to give up. But honestly, I felt like it was a little hard for him. And I don't know. Sometimes when you watch a match, you're like, what did I really see? Let me analyze what I saw. So on one hand, when I first watched, I thought, wow, look at that aggression. He is in control of this match. He's going to take this guy out. On the other hand, Oho's like sort of just rolling around the edge of the ring and Takayasu has to chase him. I feel like if Takayasu was in peak form, he would have just blasted him out with that first push and none of that ever happens. That makes me nervous. Luckily for him, he doesn't have to fight. Well, he does have to fight, I think, Takeru Fuji tomorrow. No, he doesn't. That's right. Okay. He's got Wakamoto Haru tomorrow. Luckily, the end of his tournament is he's not facing any of the really big guys or the really punishing guys because I think he's hanging on by a thread. He might win this. It's possible. But he will have to put everything on the line. Like, he will have to risk his body to win this one. An interesting thing was Tamawashi was giving an interview and someone was asking him about the Yusho and he's like, I don't want to think about that. I want Takayasu to win it. I was like, that's interesting. So I think Tamawashi's in it for the fun. And I think probably everyone, besides those who actually want to win the Yusho, but like the collective is probably rooting for Takayasu. Everyone knows the story. Everyone needs to see it have a happy ending. So we will hold our breath longer for Takayasu. And then we had the big match of the day. Onosato versus Takeru Fuji. 10-2. Onosato wins. He's now 10-2. Takeru Fuji still in with a 9-3. So it went down exactly as expected. Takeru Fuji blasts him all the way back to the bells. And then Onosato does the little pirouette and wins the match. I think he had that planned. I don't think that was a last minute thing. I think he was like, okay, if I get the better of the Tachi, this is what I'm going to do. But if he knocks me back, I'm going to do this to him. He's lucky it worked. Because even if you plan that, it doesn't mean, like, he's lucky Takeru Fuji didn't have just an ounce more power because his leg would have went out. So, good to have a backup plan. Definitely not dominant sumo. Definitely not the sumo you want to see, for a Yokozuna. Since we give people such a hard time about what is Yokozuna sumo. If we're rooting for Onosato to win the Yusho, he will go on a Yokozuna run. So it might be better if he figures out a way to handle Takeru Fuji's Tachi in a different way. But hey, a win's a win. I'm not going to fault him for that. I just think he needs to come up with a plan for Takeru Fuji in the future. I don't think that one's going to be it. And the final match of the day was Kotozakura versus Daisho. Very important match for both men. I thought it was a great match. I was really impressed. So Daisho wasn't going for the usual slaps. It was all parries. But that's also in his bag of tricks. I think the plan was to wear Kotozakura out and then try to take advantage of the weak knee. And the reason I think that is Daisho is a very powerful thruster, but pushing someone as big as Kotozakura it's not going to work that way unless you really get if you just get under him perfectly at the tachi and blast him out, that's possible, but that didn't happen. So he decided to do the deflections and the parries. Kotozakura met each one, and then you saw that moment where he knew, I can't let this match go on any longer. He gets aggressive, grabs the back of the belt, and just says, I'm stronger than you, and pushes him out. This was the first time in a long time that I felt Kotozakura's spirit, and I was happy about it. I loved it. I was like, yes, that's the Kotozakura I want to see. With his back against the wall and only a few more opportunities to save his Ozeki rank, we're finally seeing Kotozakura blossom. And also, fighting Daisho will always bring out the best in you. For sure. I love Daisho. Man, is he's just a killer. That's all I can say. So tomorrow we have a lot less matchups that determine the Yusho race because we're dwindling people out, but interesting nonetheless. So Onosato's got Oho. He should be able to handle this. However, Oho is like Abi. Sometimes he wakes up just for one match, and Onosato, he doesn't look that dominant. He's very good at moving forward. He's got excellent footwork, and he's a thinker. But that doesn't mean that, all Oho has to do is catch him from the side. We've seen it happen before. So I do think Onosato will win the match, but I do think he also needs to be wary of Oho. Unless Oho is super hurt and that's why he's not doing so great this tournament. It could possibly be interesting, but I think Onosato will take it. Takayasu and Wakamoto Haru is interesting because whatever's wrong with Wakamoto Haru could be injury, could be just the usual things were going on with him. But Takayasu is in the best shape he can be in. So if Wakamoto Haru is in not as good a shape, maybe he's going to dominate this match. This is a nice match in terms of these guys have been basically fighting together to try to go on that Ozeki run again. And Wakamoto Haru just falls right out. Takayasu gets injured, gets taken out for a whole tournament, drop all the way back down to the bottom. This will be just interesting. I either envision Wakamoto Haru getting the belt and dropping Takayasu on his face, and we get another one of those pained expressions with the slow walk, or Takayasu just muscles him right out before you even had a moment to think about it. Either scenario is possible. Okay, the 9 and 3 is our Takeru Fuji versus Kotozakura. That's going to be a fantastic match. Takeru Fuji is pushing a guy just as big as Onosato. We know he has the power to knock him back, but Kotozakura is far more defensive than Onosato, so he might have other plans in mind, but Kotozakura knows he doesn't want to go back and test that knee. So, dicey match, because Kotozakura wants to win tomorrow and just take the tournament off. I bet you he's out if he wins that match. So both men with a lot on the line. Like I said, it's a very similar matchup to today's matchup with Onosato. Then we have Tamawashi versus Chirano Umi. Tamawashi feels like he's been drinking from the fountain of youth. He doesn't look tired in the second week. Chirano Umi's getting beat down. I think Tamawashi will take it, but, Chirano Umi, he's got 10 years. I think he's 9 or 10 years younger, so if he has a little bit more energy, maybe he takes it. And then Ao Nishiki versus Daisho. What a match this could be. Oh, I really hope it's the match that I anticipate. I could see both of these men. Like I said, Daisho brings out the best in his opponents because he knows just how to push you. I think that's actually part of his whole strategy, is let me get you fighting me angrily so that I can take control of the match. Ao Nishiki, young, hot-blooded, this is his opportunity to get his 10 wins. I think he's going to give everything at Daisho, and it's going to be a spectacular match. So, that's all my notes. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind in the comments. So let's get these comments started. Okay. Very surprised. Oh, Kusano is lighter than Hoshoryu. That's surprising because he looks a lot bigger. But I guess Hoshoryu has really bulked up the muscle. Very surprised how things turn out in Juryo with the Yusho wrapped up on day 12. I believe that's a record, especially for a rookie. I think it was 1977 was the last time Juryo was decided on day 12. That's certainly something that doesn't happen every day. And then for a brand new Rikishi, that is a record. Hello, Colin. Glad that you can make it. Also, the Jonokuchi leader has the biggest smile. You have to take a look. The only guy in the Banzuke that has teeth smiling. Okay, I will look for that. Glad to see Tamashoho will return to Makuuchi next basho. Excellent. Let's see if he can have a return like Shishi. Shirokuma staying alive. Been on 7 losses for a while, but he's been showing energy I haven't seen from him before. He might be just sort of absorbing the young... John and I were also talking about this. There's a lot of interesting storylines. The new guys are having a pretty good tournament. We have Asakoryu, we have Aoi Nishiki, Shishi. The new up-and-comers are really showing their stuff, and the veterans are finally kind of falling apart. It's like this tournament, there's a struggle for who's going to be on this Banzuke. So Shirokuma might be absorbing the energy around him. Hello, Stargazer. I know Sato played that Takeru Fuji matchup quite well. Like I said, I think he planned it. He's lucky it worked, but I think that was planned. Aoi Nishiki looking so good. I will give props to Meisei for the only time in my life. He actually looks pretty okay this basho. Meisei's having the best basho he's had in at least a year, maybe longer. So I hope he gets his Kachikoshi because he's fighting hard. And he's had some of the best, like the most fired up matches in the whole tournament where you're like, yeah, look at that fire, you know? So hopefully he gets his Kachikoshi. Onokatsu versus Oshoma should be fun tomorrow. Both very defensive, but with different styles. Yes, that will be a highlight match tomorrow. A 12-way playoff. How the heck is that going to work? That's why we need to see it happen, because we have no idea. Bloodhound Knight. A certain old boy prophet is sick, so I'm actually live for this, praying extra hard for Endo through the weekend. Yeah. Endo needs prayers. He needs hugs, cards. He needs to get through this tournament because it is painful to watch him just collapse like that. He must be in so much pain. Tamawashi shows Kirishima who's boss. Senior Mongolian pride. Yeah, that's true. The Mongolians got their own thing going on with each other. So you have sumo ranking, and then you have Mongolian ranking, and yeah. Kirishima was put in his place. No idea, but the possibilities include either a 2-way or a 9+ person playoff. Wow. If we just get a Yusho winner tonight, my excitement is ruined. Okay. Tamawashi has a better chance of winning than Takayasu does. I think so too, unfortunately. I want to be surprised. I want something magical to happen that changes the trajectory of Takayasu's life, because I am so sad and don't want to see the sad walk ever again. I was going to say if this were a boxing movie, it would end with him dying in the ring. Oh my goodness. I hope not, H-Tim. I hope reality holds out. Tamawashi is going to fight until like age 50 in Makuuchi and won't retire from the ring until the mandatory retirement at 65. Yeah, he just skips the whole Oyakata thing. He's like, I'm just going to fight. How great would that be? Oh, and H-Team says, yeah, Endo. I thought you meant Endo. Okay. Can't help but agree, Monster. I might be crazy for thinking Tamawashi would beat Takayasu if they fight. Takayasu is not in great shape. Tamawashi, I don't know how he does what he does. I really don't. You type slow. That's fine. I read comments slow. They listen to the podcast just to hear the plug. Oh, should we do the plug now since I'm so far behind in the chat? I'll go down to the bottom just to see if you're telling me I should do the plug. Oh, JJ's here. Yo, what do we got going on? What we got going on is reading the comment section, JJ, and I got through all my my spiels, my recaps on the matches. We're going to do a plug. Goose isn't here to be upset about it, so JJ can hear the plug this time. First, I'm going to go back to the comment I was on so I don't lose it. Oh, here we go. Okay, plug. Hi, you're listening to 42 Opinions Sumo, the greatest sumo show on the planet. And I really mean that. So you need to like, comment, and subscribe, or else something very unpleasant will happen. Just kidding. Thank you. I try to make it a little different, you know? It's just what comes into my mind. Fantastic, able to stay low. Ura's always got something brewing too. He doesn't plan in advance. He's like a painter. He's like, I see an opportunity to try this thing. And then he just does it. Guys, remember earlier this Basho Endo was the sole leader at 4-0. The way a sumo tournament is formed is like Play-Doh. You know, it's a nice formed ball in the first 4 days, and it starts to get squished a little bit, and then it starts to get kneaded into something, and by the end, it's actually a creation that turns into a trophy. Whenever Endo leads the tournament, something happens to his health. It's such a shame. His career really should have been just so much better than it's turned out. Injuries will do it to you. Kintamayama put up a video of the moment that Endo tore his ACL, and it was against Shohozan. And apparently he was never the same after that, which is just a shame. Habab Gab says, I hope you're having a better day today. I think I am. I certainly feel like I'm having a better day today, so it's all in how you perceive it. Like yesterday, I'm like, not only am I having a bad day, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling very unsatisfied with my life right now. Just things happen some days. Nope, there will be no Shishi slander today. He earned his right to be left alone, but we will make him the subject of the picture for all to think about. It was fun, but it did seem like Tobizaru was in control of the match the whole time. I think he was, but Ichi Yamamoto was really giving it back to him and making him work. And like I said, I think Ichi Yamamoto's footwork has improved tremendously from when we first saw him fight Abi. Like that was the time where I was really paying attention to, you got like a similar fighter going. I think he's going places. You watch. Ichi Yamamoto going to give JJ another heart attack with all these 7-7s. It's going to happen. 7-7 last day. That's Ichi Yamamoto's role. I, for one, never have anything nice to say about Tobizaru. You know, Mitch, we've really missed your negativity about Tobizaru. You got kind of subdued about it. So I'm glad to see that you've revived that energy. Shishi is still doing the weird hand thing. It's kind of gross. Yes, I went on about that last night. I find the Shishi hand thing to be creepy. I don't like it. And he was doing it with one hand today. But he was really trying to stop himself, and he just couldn't. He might be the sumo Keith Jardine, UFC reference. He was known for his unorthodox style. Interesting. I'll have to look that guy up. There's the Mitch we love. Shishi pulled the throw off with a taped shoulder. Awkwardness can be hard to defend against. That's what they used to say about Takamiskari. He had an awkward movements. There's something to that. If this guy's just moving in ways you're not used to, then you start to act awkward. Or you start to try something that maybe you shouldn't. But in the case with Wakamoto Haru, it looks like he just got the jump on him, and that was that. Wakamoto Haru is on his A game this Basho too. I'll be watching Shishi closer next Basho, that's for sure. The Shishi saga is going to be fun. I don't know what the man's going to do. He might be absolutely terrible next tournament, or this might be the start of something amazing. Anyone ever wonder Hana Regomora Oh, that's a hard name. Oyakata gives mail to Ichi Yamamoto, ask about how much the postage is or how to address something. He might just become the Kyokai's mailroom attendant after retire. You need to look at the picture in the posts. I'm just saying. Shishi and Tochi big white guy. I wonder where the comparisons come from. I know that is the temptation to say that's the only comparison. I'm just saying there's something in his sumo. It's not just because he's a big white guy, okay? There's something, and I'm not comparing him in a way where I was like, he's so good. But Tochi was not the wrestler you saw at the end of his career all the time. So there's just something. I don't know. Kirishima's career going the path of Takanoami. Ex-Yusho winning Ozeki, who due to injuries drops down. He hovers in the Joy and has a couple of double-digit winning Basho in the Sanyaku. That could be interesting. He's really got to take a break, though. He needs some time. Concussions take time, and he is definitely concussed. For me, it's the huge thighs that make me think Tochi when I see Shishi. Eastern European genetics. For sure, there is a physical component that is similar. It's explained by Oho being even more of a mimetic failure than second week Takayasu. Yeah, Oho is looking pretty rough. No question about it. I don't know if it's the letdown from all the excitement in the last tournament. Like maybe he hyped himself up and he was ready to go and things just kept falling apart and now he's discouraged. I could see that because he doesn't look injured to me, but everyone's always injured, so who knows. If the Yusho comes down to Takayasu versus Tamawashi, I'm still betting on Tamawashi. Yeah, I'm not betting against Takayasu. It's just I'm not going for him. I've been down this path. I can't do it. I'm saying right now, please surprise me. Please do what you must do. But I can't do it again. I'll throw a huge party if he wins, but I just can't. I can't go for it. Let's be honest. If Tamawashi gets the opportunity to throttle Takayasu to win the Yusho, you know he's going to throat punch him straight out. Yeah. Yes, he is. Oho always takes time to acclimate to a new rank. He's been showing a weird ability to not go out this match and the Hoshoryu playoff match where he survived at the edge. Yeah, he could be one of those guys that each time it's really hard. I can definitely say from my own karate experience, it's like white belt, awesome. Blue belt, awesome. My belts might be out of order for other schools. I'm not sure. But I got to a point once I hit green belt where definitely I'm starting all over again. And all the excitement and all the ability I had before it, I feel like it just disappeared. Even though it didn't. It feels like, man, I'm a rookie all over again and I stink and I don't deserve to be here. That is how it feels. So maybe Oho goes through sort of, if I don't live up to the way I was last tournament, then I stink and I'm awful. And, you can really bring yourself down dark paths mentally. Takayasu might get PTSD if he fights Tamawashi. Remember, it was a Tamawashi armlock throw that hurt Takayasu's elbow and dropped him from Ozeki. Yeah, Tamawashi has hurt many a fellow. It's true. For the first time, it looked like the regular Kotozakura. Yeah, I think just the knee has messed him up, but Kotozakura is a good fighter. It's just he's more defensive, so it's hard for him to look up. Hopefully he gets through this Ozeki situation and maybe we get a better version of him. And it was Takayasu that Tamawashi beat to win his second Yusho. Oh, goodness. Kotozakura did a lot of practice bouts against Oho and Daisho before the Basho. He wanted to make sure he beats those two. Well, Oho is not going to be a factor. And he did good against Daisho. A little poetic that Kotozakura's spirit is blossoming during cherry blossom season in Japan. Ah, yes, I hadn't even thought about the fact that it was cherry blossom season. But I did, of course, think about Zakura and blossoming when I decided to write that. Daisho makes every match fun to watch. I completely agree. Daisho is that guy you don't really think about at first because he's just doing his thing. But when you get to the later part of the tournament and he's just knocking guys around and bringing out their fire, you realize that there's no one like Daisho, and there's nothing like a Daisho match. Let's see. There's a lot of matches relevant to the demotion picture tomorrow. It's very close right now. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It says we're having buffering issues. Hopefully we're really not. I came all the way down to check. You guys are giving so many comments. Okay, I gotta keep going. Demotion picture. Nishiki Fuji gone. 2 more losses would demote Ryuden, Shonana Umi, Nishikigi, Mitake Yumi, Asakuryu, Takada Fuji. 1 more loss would demote Shirakuma. 3 losses demote Sadano Umi and Koto Shoho. That is a lot of demotions. All I'm saying is that if Koto Zakura did a Hanka, there's no way Takeda Fuji would see it coming. Trust me, I've thought about that. I have seriously thought about that as a possibility, but I don't know if I can see Koto Zakura doing it. I'm not sure. I don't know if he would resort to that. No, that would be funny. We're doing the promotions now. Cool. Yeah, might as well. Daisho hasn't been slapped down at the edge this whole basho. Awa Nishiki is super resistant to being slapped down. This will be a forward-moving match. I expect slaps and throat strikes, and I expect a brawl. And I am looking forward to it. Jurio promotion picture. I agree with Monster's promotion analysis. I didn't make any notes, and we're usually in agreement. You don't have to if he's already got it all set. Tamashoho, Roga, Kaiho. Don Kusano, yep, if he wins out. Hidaomi, Fujiseun, and Tochi Taikai. Jurio demotions. If Kusano Zensho's and gets Makauchi, that would be so cool. I would love to see that. He's already set a couple of records, so let's keep going. Kitanowaka, Kiriyuko, Otsuji, Hokuto Fuji. Oh, John is in pain, let me tell you. Nabatame, Wakanosho, and Tsurugisho. Tsurugisho has tried everything. Oh, gee. Breaking. Chiyo Tenfu wins his match and clinches the Jonokuchi Yusho. No playoff. Sorry, Mitch. We were all hyped. Chiyo Tenfu. Makushita Promotions. Mudoho, Miyagi, Ishizaki, Dayamami, Mita. I already said hi to JJ. I hope your dinner is good. I'm so far behind, but you probably finished eating at this point. For playoffs that are divisible by 3 and 2, they do brackets until 3 are left, then do Tomoe Sen, King of the Hill thing. That's cool. That's cool. And then Habab was asking about 7 and 7. We did the plug. Hob, I hope not, but if he does, he'll break the record for number of times the wrestler's gone 7 and 7. He's tied for first with 2 other guys. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, Monster now roots for the 7 and 7. How many in a row has he gone 7 and 7? Reading the comments, awesome. We got another hour in the stream, I guess. Yep, we went till 11 p.m. last night. Because I didn't do a Tuesday night show, I feel that I must do long shows for these 2 days to be fair to the audience. Because the only reason I even do this is for the audience, so I try to give the people what they want. He's on 5 right now. 6, and he holds the record. That's crazy. That's insane. But hey, we're all about the records lately. I'm sure Tamawashi will break some kind of record if he wins this Yu show. I'm seriously torn because I want him to win, but records are fun. Records are fun. He can always win next time after he gets the record. Endo was Onosato before Onosato became Onosato, the super hype and decorated college prospect that is supposed to be the next Japanese Yokozuna to free the country from the yoke of Mongolian dominance. Couple of things I have to say about that. One, true, but Endo had a lot more skills than Onosato has. 2, Endo's been doing sumo, I think, a lot longer than Onosato. And 3, I think even the Mongolian dominance is going to start to go away. Like, dominance in general seems to be on the decline. We're just in this state of everybody's pretty evenly matched, and we just take turns on who's going to win. He can still get Kachikoshi on the last day. Don't worry, JJ. Yeah, that's the thing. Having to go to the last day and hope your guy gets a Kachikoshi is kind of stressful. Plus, if he goes 7 and 8, then he'll be in a good position to get a new highest rank in the Basho after next. 7 and 7 is way to Kachikoshi. 7 and 7 is way to Komusubi. Me and John say it all the time. All it takes is Kachikoshi. You can just 8 and 7 all the way up to the top. Well, until you get to Sekiwake. Then you got to kind of do a little bit more. Hey, JJ, there's a chance we get another 7-7 Ichi versus Wakataka Kage match. Oh, yeah, that's true. JJ, I forgot when I talked about your show earlier. Chiyoshoma's post-surgery boom would be cool to do an episode on. That's been going around for a year. I concur. That would be cool. You might have to do an expose on Shishi. Shishi taking the spotlight from Hoshoryu. This will now be the era of Shishi. Boy, I hope not. I would prefer Hoshoryu to take the light. Shishi equals Tickle Monster. Yeah, which is really creepy. I'm not sure I'm ready for the era of Shishi. I'm not ready for the era of Shishi. I'm rooting for him because he is an interesting fighter, but no, I'm not ready. No one's ready for Shishi yet. Looking at Chiyoshima would be cool. I don't think I've got the Jurio footage of 2024, though. Well, you don't need the footage of everything. But I'm sure there's a way to get the footage. Mayhaps. I freaking hope not. The more I think about it, goofy hand, claw, gropey looking thing is even creepier than I first thought. Yeah, watch it enough times and you're like, I gotta turn this guy off. He's just creeping me out. Hello, Kwakuryu. Tamawashi with a smile. Ah, too bad then. Here's an image that you'll want to bleach from your mind. Shishi doing his claw thing versus Aoyama with his Shikiri-sen, so they're a little too close for comfort. Why are you doing this, Mitch? What is wrong with you, man? I don't want to think about that. I think knee injuries affect defensive Rikishi more than offensive. Tamawashi said he's aggressive to end the match quickly to prevent injury. Nishikigi has a bad ankle. He's defensive and looking bad. I completely agree with that. I think that's part of why Tamawashi has done so well, is that he is that aggressive. His match is just, he's always going forward. Your injuries are going to happen going backwards more often than not. It's not that you won't blow out a knee, stepping on the bell wrong and twisting it, but if you're on the defensive, you are more likely to step incorrectly. In fact, I watched a guy, all we were doing was running backwards. We're just doing a simple thing. And that's when he, tore his ACL, just running backwards casually. So going backwards is never good for your long-term health. Ever since you said Daisho looks like a lobster with his fingers all taped up, it's all I can think about when I see him. Yeah, prior to Daisho, it was Koto Yuki. That, we would just call it the claw. Like, his thumbs were, taped to his pointer finger and his middle finger. So, he literally would just jab you in the throat with a claw. And now Daisho has taken the reign ever since then, so kudos to him. Chiyo Tenfu is the teeth smiler. Could you put that on the main screen? Yes, I can put that on the main screen. Let's find him. Let's find our guy here. March Banzuke. What division is he in? Okay. I've already forgotten what division he's in. Somebody tell me quick so I can pull it up. I've skipped comments for this. No one's telling me. What division, please? What division is Chiyo Tenfu in again? You guys gonna make me have to look? Okay, I'll just look. No one was quick enough for me. We got a couple of smilers. We have Kaoru Fuji. But I think I'll be able to notice a teeth smiler right away. I don't think you guys said Joni Don. Let's see. Sandame? I'm going back to see if you guys have told me now. Jonokuchi, thank you. Jonokuchi. Okay, so we're all the way down. Oh, there's Mori Urara. There he is. Yeah, that's the biggest smile you will ever see from a Japanese sumo wrestler. We'll keep him up for a little while. That'll make us happy. My dream scenario for this basho is Takayasu and Onosato going 13-2. Takayasu winning the playoff, which still leaves Onosato on a yokozuna for the next basho. That would be the ideal scenario. The thing is, Takayasu's had some, and Takayasu has not done well in playoff situations. You remember what happened with Abi. But maybe that would also be good to be in that situation and just erase that memory forever. It's a good goal. Koto Yuki was the true lobster man. He was. No one will be lobster quite like Koto Yuki. No, Takayasu will choke in a playoff like the unintended toddler. Let's not do one of those. Look, what scenario do you think is actually going to be good for Takayasu at this point? I don't even know if I want to watch. Because I can't handle another slow walk. Taped all of his fingers together. He did. It was like he didn't have a hand anymore. Making soup. It's just about done. Haven't started eating it yet. What kind of soup? I don't know if it's offensive, but I feel like Canadians are good at making soup. In some ways, it's not offensive because it is cold up there. So I would hope you'd be good at making soup. Everyone wants to know about the soup. What kind of soup we talking here? Koto Yuki is a throwback. He sometimes commentates on Abema, but it's hard to recognize because he has glasses and is bald. I think that's what it is. I'm like, I don't remember seeing him, but if he's bald now, I definitely wouldn't recognize him. Brown some pork belly, cooked onion, celery, carrot in the fat, garlic, threw the pork belly back in, English sauce, soy sauce, dried jalapeno spices. Quick and hearty. I think it's official. Canadians know how to make soup. At least JJ does. Because that sounds amazing. Okay, Jonokuchi. Monster agrees that sounds delicious. JJ, you're making me hungry. LMAO, offensive. Come on, guys. You know Canadians don't get offended. They're too nice. Let's stereotype some more. I love stereotyping. It's fun. Just kidding. Or am I? Hey, you live in a place where it gets to negative 50 Celsius. I bet you know how to make good soup. That's precisely my point. Sometimes stereotypes are true. I'm looking forward to seeing Tamawashi get promoted towards the Joey so he can get a Kimboshi off his 5th different Yokozuna. Yeah, probably going to happen. Unfortunately. And you know I love Hoshiryu, but probably going to happen. Soup is my lifeblood. Is it finally not super cold in Canada at this point? Because it's been nice and warm in New York. So hopefully you're at least up to 20 degrees at this point. Monster says he does have a nice smile. Hello, Mega Monster. Konishiki threw out the first pitch of the Dodgers versus Cub Tokyo series in Japan. My two worlds collide. I really wanted to see that, but I don't have any MLB abilities to watch anymore. I don't have any streaming. I don't have any cable packages. That's part of why I'm not up on the baseball games anymore. Like sometimes if it's on network TV, I'll throw a game on and not care what team it is. But I wanted to see that. I bet you I could find some clips on YouTube or something. That sounds like a good soup. I'll need to keep that in mind next time I get next time I get 5 feet of snow. I hear that snow is still on the horizon next week. So I don't think we're out of the frozen tundra just yet. Onosata hanking Takayasu in a playoff would be the funniest thing in the world. You think that. But it might be the most painful thing. Because if you recall, Abi hanked Takayasu. And he did the jumping hanka, so he also hurt Takayasu in the process. And it wasn't funny. It was very sad. I have to look that up. I want to see a Konishiki first pitch. Yeah, I want to watch that. I'm sure we can see the first pitch. I know everyone doesn't believe in Takayasu, but I'm new enough to sumo I still believe. The greatest joy comes when you open yourself up to being hurt. STZ02, I love you for that. We are cold, hardened people at this point, and we really need someone with innocence to bring purity back to us. I hope your optimism rubs off on Takayasu and we are all taught a lesson. Trust me, I want to be wrong. I want to believe. JJ would be an excellent Chanko chef, but he's too good at sumo to stay in the lower divisions for very long. We just hit 0 Celsius today, and it's the first day of spring. Wow, it's worse than I thought. I do make banging Chanko. The seafood is just a bit pricey where I'm at. Well, now we know that JJ needs to open a restaurant, and we all need to go on a field trip. Just saying. But maybe not now while it's cold. Like maybe in the heat of summer when it's 90 degrees and Canada's like 67. I think that'll be great. I got to see Tokushoryu win, so I know I've peaked. Everything after that is bonus fun. Yeah, I kind of feel like I've been through a lot with Takakeisho. So it's going to take a while to hurt me that deeply again. I mean, the pain I went through with the Ozeki run, the Yokozuna runs, the nonsense about the Henka, the horrible injuries. I've gone through enough pain to last me a lifetime. So I might be able to handle it, but Takayasu, he's part of that old school pain. You know, Takayasu and Takakeisho had a thing. So, you know, maybe I can't really be free right now. Snow forecast here. Yep, snow is on the horizon, unfortunately. Abi hanking Takayasu is why Onosato doing it would be funny. I don't know. The way Onosato is, it might not be funny. It may be, but it might not be. Let us know if it snows, M. As a SoCal boy, I've only seen snow twice. That's nuts. I've lived in New York my whole life, so snow takes on a different meaning here. It's just kind of like, oh, it's that time again. 6 months of dark, cold. You like the first couple of snows, but then after a while you're like, okay, I've had enough of crashing my car into my mailbox and, you know, all the other things that go wrong. So snow is awesome, but you do reach a point where you're like, I'm over it now. When we hit March, I'm done. But usually that's when we get some crazy 12 inches of snow, and then the next day is 60 degrees. And you spend a day where you turn your heat on in the morning and you have your air conditioner on in the afternoon. We're in for all the chaos in March and April. That's for sure. You take that back. I refuse to believe I'm getting more snow. I'm sorry. That's what the forecast said. I'm sorry. Abi whispers in Onosato's ear, do it. Onosato becomes a Sith Lord. Yeah, he better stay away from Abi's influence. We're going to get a dark chapter if that happens. I will operate my restaurant exclusively when it's negative 28 minimum. Well, more people would want soup at that time, so true. I am really looking forward to watching the Roller Town stream because I want to see JJ compete. The last time I watched Roller Town, you know, it hadn't been that much time since I did the Sunday morning sumo show. Now, I've conversed with JJ here on the live stream, and now I'm taking a far greater interest in how his sumo will look. So, guys, you got to watch the Roller Town live stream with the Dallas Sumo Club. It's coming up in April 25th, 26th, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come to JJ's. It's super cold out there. I love it. That's a good joke. JJ, you have to cook the soup in a moashi. Oh, that's guaranteed. It's just not going to have the same appeal if you don't. I wish I had seafood right now. And open myself up to pork belly fat splatter. Are you nuts? Good point. Good point. It might actually be dangerous. I'm the only one in my family who is a seafood fan. The others are okay with it, but they don't love it. I crave octopus almost every day. I do not like octopus, and it's not the flavor, it's the suction cups. It's like, nah, I'm good. Maybe the one time I had it, it was not good. Creeped me right out. Perhaps the person who prepared it was not good at it. But I can never do that again. I'll never understand why seafood is so controversial. I can't get enough of it. I think it's the smell. The sea has a smell. It's baseball season and snow impacts the widths of wallets, and I refuse to recognize any amount of snow in the near future. You might be able to just pretend it away. Like it's not really out there. I'll tell you, I don't want any more snow. I've enjoyed these past couple of days in the 50s and 60s. I've moved on, but here it's threatening to come back. What's up, y'all? Sorry I'm a little late. What a basho, eh? If Tamawashi wins this, my cheers are going to wake up the neighborhood. This is Paleo Sapien. Yes, we were discussing how it could be crazy if Tamawashi and Takayasu face each other at the end. It turned around. It was sort of a weird day yesterday to doing exactly what it always does. It gets exciting on day 12 every single time. The smile here on this young man's face is reminding us of how the end of this tournament is going to be great. I'm super vanilla. Oh, Yorikiri? Nothing beats that. Hey, it's straight up. I could eat shrimp for days at a time. Shrimp fried rice is one of my go-tos for lunch. I prefer salmon. I'm a salmon person. If you own an ice cream shop, vanilla just called Yorikiri. I love this. I love this idea. Like, I've just learned to throw like a week ago, and I'm like 5% that'll ever use it. I'm more likely to go for the terror clamps. You've got to do it at least once. Like, do the kimidashi at least once. I'm going to be looking for that. Oshi, what's that? Give me the belt. I'm going to be watching super critically now. Now that I've spent this time doing sumo commentary with you, and I know Goose will be up there saying whatever nonsense he likes to say. It's going to be so much more fun now that I know you guys better. I wish I could have made it, but actually it turns out that weekend just got busier and busier and busier with like really important stuff that I absolutely couldn't miss. So if I had ordered a flight to go there, I would have had to cancel it. You should try those octopus rings people make. I don't know. Just the thought of it, I'm just losing it. JJ no Fuji. Yes. I'm going to pop up in the comments section because I think they have a live chat, and I'm going to just spam JJ no Fuji. Fried octopus balls are a must at any ramen restaurant. I must not have any good ramen restaurants where I'm at, because that's not even on the menu. You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice? Okay, he and Riki lost his match, so the Jonidan Yusha will be decided tonight without playoffs. It's all ruined. All this talk and it's already over. How lame is that? He'll be spouting so much nonsense. Yeah, Goose is going to be ridiculous. Like last time he was out there in the ring. Now he's going to sit back, watch you talk so much crap about everything. It's going to be so great. It's going to be amazing. I've never eaten any takoyaki in my life, and that makes me sad. JJ, what was Goose's reaction when Shishi got Kachikoshi? I recommend that you go to the Discord and watch the video archive because his reaction was the best. It was amazing. He was a little bit stunned for a second and like had to take a breather. He didn't even know what to say. It was classic. It's been a good few months for Salmon. Lost leader almost every week. I bet I could do some gyojing, except I refuse to travel to Texas. Well, maybe we just need more sumo tournaments elsewhere. That's all. Texas is pretty far for me, actually. I don't know how long of a flight it would be, but it's pretty far. I hear they're going to be doing some sumo events in New York. Though I don't want to go to the city anymore. I'm over it. I would do it for sumo, though. Did that happen last night? If so, I wasn't on. Had an early work conference this morning. No, JJ was not on. It was last night, and the reaction was classic. I almost want to take it out and make it a short. It was amazing. Think onion rings, but with meat instead of onions. That's octopus rings. And that is takoyaki, right? Octopus rings. I had a friend who went to Japan and she called it takoyaki. So either we're on the same page about it or it really is not the greatest thing. I don't know. I mean, I would try anything if I went to Japan. I would try any food, even things that I typically wouldn't eat, because how often do you get to go to Japan? It's like all my friends have been to Japan except for me. It's kind of annoying. It's like none of you even know sumo. I belong there. You're just going to do touristy things. I would definitely be going to stables. Is John on the mic tonight? I might tune in live, 2 a.m. for me, but it would be a worthy sacrifice to hear John. As far as I know, John is going to be on the Sunday morning sumo show in the wee hours, 2 a.m. for you. I don't know if it's confirmed. I told Goose to contact him. Don't know if Goose did it or not. Goose isn't even here now, so I hope so. I hope so. John is supposed to be. He even took a day off of work so he could do it. That's how dedicated John is. Okay? No, takoyaki is in ball form specifically. Okay. I'm on the mic, but I'd recommend the Sunday morning sumo show archives. I do. So it's kind of interesting. I usually only watched NHK. You can watch the NHK highlights live if you actually just watch them live. You don't have to wait till the next day. Since I've gone on this Sunday morning sumo show journey, I then watched their archive after the fact because I just must see the reactions of Goose and JJ to certain matches. I'm a reaction kind of person. So, yeah, JJ, you should be getting another day off if Goose and John actually spoke. All I can tell you is John took Friday off, so Goose better let him on. I could do New York, depending on what part of New York. I might travel to Indiana or Michigan for a tournament. So if it came to New York, it's guaranteed to be New York City or the southern part of New York. Maybe Buffalo, maybe Western New York, but I doubt it. Like, the only Japanese community that really exists would be in New York City, so I'm guessing that's where it would be. It's confirmed. What's confirmed? Going to wake up in 4 hours. Oh, confirmed that you're going to watch? Yeah, I would. The reason I'm not doing the show is I was working on my manuscript for my book, and I had to get it to a final editor, and I was up from 8 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, until 5 o'clock in the morning, Monday. And there's a difference between staying up and just being casual and literally using your brain every second of that. I think I might need weeks to recover from that. I'm never doing that again. Never, ever, ever, ever again. So, I am not in good shape. I cannot stay up and do sumo because I need to sleep for probably 2 weeks. I wake up every day tired now since I tried that nonsense. I am not a college kid anymore. It doesn't work. How do Discord? Never have before in my life, like a caveman in fire. I was not a Discord person either until somebody just gave me a link, and it's pretty simple. JJ will give you a Discord invite. I'm taking it. I watch NHK highlights unless Takikeisho commentates on the Oyakata channel. Yeah, I'm so behind. I have to go back and watch that. I need to learn Japanese because I need to know what Takikeisho was saying. Oh, jeez. Hi, John. I forgot your Bloodhound night. I'm tired, okay? I'm sitting there, I'm like, Bloodhound night? I know who that is. Yeah, it's John. Guys, John's in the chat. Okay? It is, okay, so according to John, it's confirmed. And now if you have any questions for John, he's there. And it's funny because this happened last time too, where John was typing in his Bloodhound Knight, and he goes on and on and on. And it's like after the fact. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was you. Yeah, John's always around, guys. Never think you can get away with saying things about him. Ichi Yamamoto beating Kotozakura had me in the most giddy I've ever been on stream. I know. That was one of the highlights of all time for me. I was so happy. I had to watch it a couple times. I'm like a big reaction person. Like, if I like something, I like watching YouTube reactions, especially like people watching anime for the first time. So it's just perfect for me to watch you guys react to things. Holy cow, John is incognito. JJ is talking about messaging on Discord. You were so happy like a Tommy Fuji with snack food. SMSS Discord link for this chat for whoever wants in. Should I do it? I think I might have to do it. Let me do it. I'm working on it. I'll be nice and do the work. Nope, that's not it. You guys able to see what I'm doing? Good. No, we're just looking at I can't even remember his name now. Okay, hold on. Trying to get the link. Here we go. I believe I am allowed to post links. There it is, my friends. If you want to join the Sunday Morning Sumo Show Discord, I've thrown it in the comments section. Oh, crap. Really? Oh, crap. How do I do that? Let me just... Alright, I don't know what happened. Oh, you are terrible, Hobob Gob. You made me really upset. Okay, I'm going back to the comments. Ay. Okay, I should have started with that. My bad. I'm sorry, John. I feel like an idiot, but, you know, I'm tired this week. Learn Japanese to pass a Japanese class. Meh. Learn Japanese to understand why my favorite hamster is saying, let's go. It's the proper motivation. I need it. Western New York would be great. My lazy ass would have to think too long about going too far east. I would love it if it was in Western New York. I prefer. I could do Buffalo. Tell the people to put something in Buffalo. I would rather go to Buffalo myself. Maria, I'm right there with you. Reaction channels are a guilty pleasure. I even have a React channel that I haven't posted to in like a year. You have a reaction channel? I love reaction channels. I would love to do reactions with Sumo. It's just they cut down all the channels, which is lame because there's the whole fair use standard. Now, sometimes I do it when we do one of our tribute channels, and I haven't gotten any trouble there, but yeah. I would love to just sit around and react to Sumo all the time. I love reaction channels. I spent this time watching this couple react to Dragon Ball Z, and it was just so fun. Isn't New York just subways and rats? LOL. My brother lived in New York for a little bit in the non-city part, and we like to tease him. Well, yeah, I mean, that is true. There are a lot of rats in the subway. There's a lot of good things in New York, but it's hectic and stressful, and I'm used to being upstate where I can just get in my car and go where I want to go, and I don't have to deal with all that nonsense. So I don't have the desire anymore. I guess I'm too old. Yeah, John is rarely ever in these things, so guys, feel free to ask him anything you want. I've never etched the Hamtaro... Oh, I never watched the Hamtaro anime ever, but that little guy had some killer Game Boy games. I never watched Hamtaro either. It was around, but it was not something I watched. I love seeing people react to my favorite stuff. I'm the same, which is why those Take Keisho videos of him watching sumo are so excellent, because, you know, he's a sumo guy. He's never been watching other people's sumo matches before, and all the comments that, you know, you can translate will talk about how insightful he is, how smart he is, how he's funny, and I'm like, I can't get any of that because I don't know. Habab Gob has finally thrown a comment John's way. John, pancakes or waffles, or the sleeper pick, French toast? This is what inquiring minds want to know. I will answer that question. French toast. All right, guys. I've caught up with the comments, which is not a good thing for continuing the stream. So either you all need to send a bunch of comments, or I'm going to be ending a little earlier than I planned. Okay, good. We see some comments. Big M, I just sent you a link to the reaction of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. You send it through Discord? I'm so going to watch it. Please tell me you sent it on Discord, because I closed Discord when Habab Gob was lying to me and said my password was visible. Thanks, buddy. People said that about Kisano Sato when he retired. They were all like, we didn't know he had this much personality. Well, any wrestler who's dedicated to the sport enough to become Yokozuna doesn't have time to have personality. He has it behind the scenes, but he's just got game face. I'm thinking about my match. I don't have time to be distracted by your nonsense. But then when they retire, they get to just say what they want, do what they want. They can breathe a little bit, you know? Pancakes, though, I've been having waffles more recently. I do like pancakes. I do not like waffles. Anything that has grooves in it, just not a fan. In fact, I ate pancakes with applesauce. I don't like syrup. Let's go, John. I watch folk reacting to Atarashi Gakko songs, but if they keep stopping the video instead of letting it play. That's the tricky thing about reaction shows or reactions, is they kind of have to stop a certain amount to react, but at the same time, if they stop too much, then you're like, it takes you out of it and you're not as into it. It's a delicate balance. What book am I working on? I am working on a fantasy novel. The likes of anime and video games and all that stuff. Yeah, I did, LMAO. Haha, yes. I'm totally watching that. Do you think Enho will retire once he makes one more Basho appearance as a Takitori? I have no idea. I'm surprised the man is still here, quite frankly. Sumo wrestlers are generally pressured to be stoic in public. Yes, there is that too. They are actually expected of that. Certain wrestlers toy around with that a bit. Bit obscure, but any thoughts on Kageyaki? He hasn't been as good as I would expect him to be in Juryo, but he's also starting to get a little old. You've got it precisely right. Kageyaki has been struggling ever since COVID in 2020. He lost a stablemate to COVID. I don't know if that was a factor or not, but he's never been the same. And now he's just, every year he gets a little bit older and sumo gets a little bit harder. Abi showed a lot of personality and that got him in trouble. Exactly. Since when have you seen an Ozeki or Yokozuna with personality? Kisano Sato was an Ozeki for what felt like 30 years before getting promoted. I know. What a shame the whole Kisano Sato thing was. Pancakes with any fruit is a good time. I also like pancakes with fruit. Secret jutsu is to put applesauce in the pancake batter. Yes. I forgot all about that. It does make them fluffier. You have to pause or you have to be good at editing around the problem bits. And I've seen reactors do both. Some reactors, I got my standards. I really like watching reactors react to old music too. But that's always tricky because of copyrights, they do it for a while and then all kinds of nonsense happens. But I do enjoy, I like Metallica reaction videos too. People who have never listened to Metallica, but you always wonder which ones are faking it. But the ones who aren't faking it, it's so good. Sumo Foods was good at showing the personality of the Rikishi. I think that was kind of the point, and I think that's why they allowed them to do them, was to get people interested in who they were outside of the ring, which is a pain in the ass. Yeah, any sort of... That's why I just put a picture up and we talk, because I don't have the energy to do all the stuff you should do to make a video super awesome. Remember, super serious religious exercise, no funny stuff. That's what it's supposed to do, but, people find a way to sneak it in. John, forbidden technique, secret ninja art, applesauce in the batter. That's right. You all heard it here first. Enho so close to Juryo, his stablemate Kawazoe fighting tonight for the Makushita Yusho. Interesting. One of the most comic generic answers given by any wrestlers in any interview is my brand of sumo. Yeah, they got like flashcards. Just talk about your brand of sumo, you're good. Although I hear Ichi Yamamoto gives the best interviews. He just throws that right out the window. Kageaki always has a rough basho after being demoted, then gets 9 wins in a couple times and is right back up. Certainly we've seen him do that. I don't know if at this point he's just run out of, chances. Eventually that will happen, but I'm not going to predict. What about Tamashoho? He's the only guaranteed returner so far. Can he make it stick better? Can he make it stick next time, or will he become a yo-yo man? Well, he's still new to the game. He's not a young man, I think. I think he's somebody who's been in Juryo and lower divisions for a while. I think we got to just see. I don't know. Kageaki may have missed the boat or bullet train on his prime. Best hopes for him now as a veteran resurgence. Yeah, you could say that about a lot of different guys too, where this was the time to make a move and it didn't happen. And so now time just passes you right by. I think Sumo Foods showing off the personality of their dudes is the reason why they're all disproportionately popular. Yeah, it must be weird for them. They're like, yeah, people like us. Remember, kids, the JSA is against bondage. Just ask Abi Makamoto Haru. Yeah, that whole thing. I have no words. I feel like Hako Oho has been hanked, hit, and shifted a few times this basho. I didn't know that Hako Oho overcommitted that much. Yeah, it does. It does highlight that, doesn't it? Every time you see the hit and shift, you're like, huh, didn't realize you were so forward leaning. You and John should have a react channel. That would be fantastic. I don't know what me and John would react to, but it would be great. If we could pull off reacting to old sumo matches, that would be super cool. Even if we did it like one time. Well, it's nearly 3 a.m. I better get some sleep. Good night. Good night, Colin. Thank you for coming by when it's nearly 3 a.m. I appreciate that. Sumo Foods is allowed because it's the stable's YouTube channel rather than from any individual Rikishi. Yeah, like everything else in Japan, it must be of the collective. Hida no Yamabeya, Kotoshogihu's stable, has a video where an actress model tries to be an Okami-san for a day. That's cool. I wonder if I'm subscribed to that one or not. Every time I get a suggestion, I just subscribe. So I don't even know who I'm subscribed to anymore. Speaking of pictures, you said you bring Shishi back on screen. All right, fair enough. Shishi's coming back. Where are you, Shishi? Shishi is our new inspiration. If he can do it, you can do it. Of course, I have to find him. Where are we? Gotta go all the way down here. There he is, folks. We're back to Shishi. Ichi Yamamoto is so expressive in his interviews. He gave exact details after beating both Hoshi and Koto. I need to go see those interviews. I've just heard about them. No one did interviews better than Kaisei back in the day. That's true. Brazilian, so. Common Hokkaido Hero W. What's that? He's Tamawashi's brother, so maybe he can still fight on for a while. Well, he's his brother-in-law. He married his sister, so they don't have the same blood. Like, there's no reason why I'd watch Koga Soga matches without sumo foods. That's true. I mean, what a brilliant idea. Like, you'll get invested in these guys now. When Wakamoto Haru was promoted, everyone's first thought was, cool, Wakataka Kage's brother. Everyone's second thought was, wait, that's the guy that be gagged and tied up. Yeah, it's an interesting reputation to bring into your sumo career. Watching Koga is a bit sad. He's still young, but I don't see any promise. Think about how many hundreds of guys try to become sumo wrestlers and you don't even know about most of them. That is the sad thing about watching the lower ranks. All right, he was. I have 20 channels and subscribe to that I have no idea what they're called, but free sumo content, so yay. Yep, that's me. I'm like, oh, it's Japanese and there's a sumo thumbnail. Subscribe. Ban this person without Shishi. I don't think most people even remember that Wakamoto Haru was involved in that. Only the people who really know sumo. You know, there's always new people coming in. They won't know about that. Makauchi and Juryo are like 60 dudes sitting on top of a mountain of corpses. There's plenty of dudes that never make it out of 4th Division. Exactly. And some of those guys, they might fight for 20 years in the 4th Division. And they just kind of live in the stable and make the food and do the grocery shopping. There are plenty of them. JJ, I want Koga to do well so badly. Mitch would be such a bad moderator. He'd ban everyone and everything. I thought you were friends with everybody here. So who would you ban? Me? Would I not be allowed to write in here because I put Shishi up here? Ichi Yamamoto is from Hokkaido. He's my hero. Ah, gotcha. Him giving good interviews is a common W. W means win. Got it. Got it. This is 11:05 p.m. Maria speaking. I think it might be 10 o'clock for you, JJ. I'm not sure. Speaking of Brazilian, there's a half Paraguayan from Naruto Bay and Makushita. Gyokuzan. Interesting. Common Hokkaido Hero W. Could be a video game. I don't think Koga will even make it into Sandame. Yeah. I want the best for those dudes, though. Having a reason to watch 4th Division is great. Absolutely. I think it's so cool that they have an opportunity for you to meet these guys so that you want to watch those other divisions. There was one night a long time ago where I stayed up and watched sumo from beginning to end, and it was delightful. It really was. If I ever go to Japan, I will definitely be there first thing and spend my entire day at the Kokugikan. There's nothing else I need to say. By the way, Hikaru Musashi Maru's nephew, got a Kachikochi yesterday. Cool. Nice to see the relatives making good. Only real OG sumo fans remember the Chiyomaru prank videos where he would wake up napping Ricochet and go, hey, you've got to get some sleep, go to bed. And they were so tired and confused. Chiyomaru is something else. That's all I'm going to say. To be fair, there are guys who make a good living as lower division wrestlers. Shoketsu is basically the Oyakata of his stable. Yeah, there's definitely perks to it. It's just that your life is very different if you succeed. Daylight savings has my time to 9 p.m. now. That must be nice. That must be nice. And he can beatbox Hobgob. JJ, does Canada do the daylight savings time? Yes. I'm sure people would be more interested in Wakamoto Haru if you talk about him getting tied up. Maybe. Chiyomaru's prank vids are hilarious. That's my favorite bit. Are they even around anymore? If I had naps with more people, I'd be doing it all the time. And also, yes, we do. Saskatchewan doesn't, though. In the United States, I think Arizona doesn't. Is that the only state that doesn't do it? Ah, there we go. Arizona or Hawaii. Who cares about Saskatchewan, though? Isn't that pretty cold? Shoketsu, oldest active Rikishi, 49, got a Kachikoshi. That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. As we speak about these wrestlers who are around for a very long time. Look at that, guys. I made it an hour and a half. I'm very proud of that. I think our record is 2 hours. I am not going to do 2 hours. That's for sure. I'll give you guys like a few minutes if there's any last things, but then I am going to go to bed. It's been a very, very long week. Unintentional pun, yes. Well, I mean, JJ's living in the same kind of weather. Everybody loves Chiyomaru. He even relates to the common person with his dirty buck stash. Chiyomaru is one of the biggest characters I've ever seen. I'm sure there are others, but he is a character. He says crazy stuff. He does crazy stuff. I think most people just keep their stash on the internet these days. Japan might be a little different, considering I've heard what is read on subways just openly. It might be a thing to have books. That's something I definitely don't need to see in my lifetime. I don't know that I even want to get on a subway anywhere. I'll get on, one of the many other trains. You're a writer. Sumo Spiffy is an English teacher. We can make sumo literature group or something. Yeah, I think we need to learn how to speak Japanese, and then we could make, like, the awesomest literature. I was watching an old doc with Asashuryu, and there's a quote where he's like, I've won over 20 Yusho. Hakuho has won only 3. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, that came back to bite him. They had a real good rivalry. That was like the stuff of magic. Chiyomaru Kachikoshi too, I think. Aged so poorly. Yeah, I love that because Hakuho was actually the nice guy when Asashuri was around. It's like, look at this clean cut, wonderfully representative Hakuho, and then they turned Hakuho into a demon by the time his career was over. If only Asashuri didn't assault that Yakuza, he might have had 30 or 40 and prevented a couple of Hakuho Yusho. Yeah, strange behavior. Strange behavior from Asashuryu. And strange behavior from Hadama Fuji. How many Yusho would Hadama Fuji have taken from Hakuho? You're telling me you're not interested in the local literature? Nah. Wait, the guy he assaulted was a Yakuza member? Yes, Asashuryu was well known for his running around with Yakuza, and they got into a tiff, and I think he hit him with a beer bottle or something, beat him up in an alley. I mean, Asashuryu is a real-life tough guy, not the fake type. The one who's just insane and does the wrong things, but he is crazy enough to hang in those circles. Jay Wags is also a performer and playwright. You guys could write and produce a sumo play. Be pretty fun. 90% of Asashuryu's behavior is strange. Yeah, he's kind of a strange guy. Hadama Fuji would have had 3 more Yusho at most. I don't think so. I think Hadama Fuji was in better physical shape than Hakuho after a while, and I think maybe Hadama Fuji would have won all the Yusho when Hakuho was absent. IIRC, he was sent to Japan because of disciplinary issues. If you believe the rumors, he got shook down the Yakuza and pushed out of sumo because he pissed them off. Probably. Time for a nap. Cheers, everyone. See whoever's hanging out in the Sunday morning sumo show in a few hours. Farewell, John. Good luck. I cannot wait to watch. It's going to be fun. Why stop there? If you guys come to Canada, I'll get my filmmaking friends to make this a production. Yeah. Canada's not so hard for me to get to. Although, I don't know where you are in relative to New York. Like, we're near, brain's going crazy, where they speak French. Quebec. We're near Quebec. Hanuma Fuji definitely would have taken advantage of the 2019-2021 era to take a couple. He would have. Guaranteed. Hakuho was out a lot. Hanuma Fuji would have stacked him up. Kakeru as well. Yep. Asakuri was just nuts. I know his late stablemaster's wife claimed that Asashuri basically killed him from the stress of putting up with him. I wouldn't rule that out. Habab God will be there, John. John will notice you. We going on a field trip? Alberta. Okay, 7-hour flight. Yeah, instead of going to Japan, apparently we're going to Canada. We're going to make a movie about sumo wrestling. I'm down. I can only dream of acting in a play than eating JJ seafood chanko. Look, I think a plan is forming. JJ's going to cook for us, and he's going to bring all his crew, and we're going to freeze to death, but it's going to be a blast. You think Hoshiryu can get 10 plus Yusho? I do. The only thing I worry about is injuries. I don't worry about him very specifically, like being injured now. But you don't know in a guy's career if they're going to get injured, like Kisano Sato. That was not anything anybody was expecting. I think if Hoshiryu stays healthy, he will get 10 plus Yusho. I think he will grow into the Yokozuna role. I don't worry about him. I worried endlessly about Takakeisho. I do not worry about Hoshiryu. I think it's funny that Hoshiryu has blocked Asa due to Asa's criticism. The whole thing is just hilarious. Asa Shiryu taking everybody down, but this is his blood. If this was somebody else, if this was Onosato, he'd be on there. Oh, these lame Yokozuna, da 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 da. He has to like tame himself a bit because Hoshiryu is his nephew. He has to rein it in. Hopefully we can get Ichinojo and Yu Takayama to act as well. Hey, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Hoshiryu has time on his hands. JJ's out. Good night, JJ. Hoshiryu's younger than Kisano Sato when he became Yokozuna. Exactly. He's young. He's healthy for the most part. The elbow is not a huge thing. Goodbye, JJ. I think Hoshiryu's going to be okay. I can't read the future, but I think he's going to be fine. And refer to last night's live stream if you need to know how I feel about the haters, because I'm not thrilled. Thanks for the show. Let me know if you want to do some React contact, Big M. I can do it over Discord like CN Binge, and I can edit. Be warned, I picked the goofiest frames for the thumbnail. I'm all about it. I would love to do some React content. So, yes, I will hit you up after the sumo tournament. Asashiryu is actually excited about Onosato. He said it has a lot of potential and has no real weakness. Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. Bye, JJ. And younger than Teru, Kakeru, and Hanuma Fuji when they got promotion. Oh, yeah. The sky is the limit for Hoshiryu. I'm looking forward to seeing Ichinojo's movie. I'm going to see it. Definitely going to see it. I think Hoshiryu could easily win 10. He is a little over 2 years. Give him until 33 years old and got it. This is not actually prime for sumo. It's about 26 or 27 where you start to get in your prime. So he's got it. He's going to be okay if he stays healthy. Good night, Tim Walker. I think Paleo Sapien was going to say good night. How bad is Kotozaku's injury? Will he skip the next Basho if he gets to 8? I don't know. I feel for him. I watched Takakeisho go through this for 5 years. I just don't know. Most Yokozuna don't get to 10 wins, so I default to no until Hoshiryu has several. Fair enough. I think he will, but your point is valid. Someone asked Asa if Onosato had anything to work on. He said nothing, basically. He's being ridiculous. There's no way he really feels that way. He's probably trying to push his nephew. Go figure. Asashiryu's favorite Rikishi is whatever one opposes Hosh. Yeah, pretty much. This is a mind game. Yu Takayama movie is out there on the high seas. Okay, gotta find that. I always give the boring guesses like this. I need to figure out who the next roundhouse bitch slap utilizing Rikishi is going to be. Take your time. You'll figure it out. Asa supports Kim Bozan, but I think that's because he was the one who recruited him. Yes, he did recruit him, so of course he does. 10 is Yokozuna or 10 overall? That's a good question. I was thinking 10 overall. I'm thinking 10 overall. So I'll give him 8 as Yokozuna. We'll see, though. If he stays healthy, he has great potential. He really is he's a solid Rikishi. You can get on him all the time about the matches he loses that he shouldn't, but he is way more talented than most of the guys here. When you look at Onosato, his size is a huge advantage. All he has to do is be good at going forward, and he's got it. Hoshuryu's got to be a little bit more creative. So I think Hoshoryu is more skilled, but he's smaller. Is what it is. What can you do about that? I can relate to Asashoryu, happiness hedge. If my guy wins, I'm happy, but if I put my money in the guy he's facing, it's a win-win. So 1 a year basically seems doable. Yeah, you can see Hoshoryu winning 1 Yusho a year. Maybe even 2. Maybe he gets even better than that. I just don't want to go there. Is 26 through 29 a prime for sumo wrestlers? Yes. So 25 is still, you're young. You switch to 26 and that's where your career is supposed to take off. And then 29, you're at the top of your game. And then 30, you start to slow down. Hence why it was devastating that Takakeisho had to retire at 28. And freshly 28. He turned 28 and he retired like a couple weeks later. Because that should have been his prime, and instead it was his end. I remember a video of Asa watching an MMA fight, and he was so upset by the guy's performance that he kicked him when the guy was in the locker room. Yeah, he's that guy. He's that guy. 1 a year, I feel, is kind of standard for non-generational Yokozuna. That's basically what Kakuryu and Hanamafuji did. See? It seems more possible when you think about it that way. Hoshoryu has as much skill as Onosato has size, and Hoshoryu as much size as Onosato has skill. There you go. Precisely. But that's what it is. I'm not looking at it like, well, that stinks that Onosato is not is way bigger. Like, he stinks. He's not comparable. Size is part of it. And if you got the size, well, good. Not every big guy is actually going to take it anywhere, so it doesn't take anything away from his skill, but he doesn't have as much to do as Hoshoryu does. And a Hoshoryu match is 10 times more exciting than an Onosato match. Well, he's had 1 win and 2 runner-ups within a year, right? Exactly. If he keeps himself healthy, he's only going to get better, and we're going to see him winning Yushos. Onosho also retired at 28. Yeah, and those guys were friends, like friendly rivals. That's the crazy thing. They came into sumo together. They fought a lot when they were young kids. I've got some great videos of short-haired teenager Onosho and Takakeisho. I guess Onosho called Takakeisho. He was one of the first people. He wasn't the first. He was one of the people he called first, and he just said, wow, we gave it our all, and he cried, and he looks up to Takakeisho so much, so he gets extra points for that. Takakeisho never hit a physical peak. Too injured. He won 4 Yusho half broken. Exactly. Takakeisho did everything he could with very little that he had to give, and he will be forever a hero to me. The only thing against Hoshoryu is Onosato looks like he has the highest ceiling, and if he improves to what he could be, he might dominate. Truth. That's truth. It is something to consider, but you know what? If he has Onosato, it's going to help him improve his game as well. I think it benefits Hoshoryu to have Onosato as Yokozuna, because part of why Hakuho could be Hakuho was all the Ozeki and all the Yokozuna. He constantly had to work harder and harder to be the guy. Akebono versus Hokuseiho would have been fire. Speaking of Onosho, for whatever reason, I keep getting him popping up on my Facebook as a suggested friend. What? Really? That's random. Oh ho ho ho, who's the Onosato hater now? Not hating, it's factual. That's what I tell myself. I don't know who you're saying is a hater. If you're saying it's just Hot Bob Gob or if it's also me. I don't hate Onosato. I don't like to hate on any Rikishi. I'm telling it like it is. He's got some work to do. Daikisho is the Jonidan Yusho winner. And there it is. It's official. We talked a lot of sumo the last 2 days. We didn't have to go off on long tangents. Even though I love our tangents about anime and video games, we did good. This was full sumo content for 2 days. And with that said, it's definitely time for me to get off. I've been on here for an hour and 45. It's almost 11:30 p.m. So I'm going to read Habob Gob's comment, and then I'm going to go. To keep my size and skill allegory, people say, what if Onosato gets more skill, he'll be so dominant? I say yes, but what if Hoshoryu gets more size? He might be as dominant. Also, an excellent point. This is possible. Hoshoryu has gotten way bigger since he first debuted in the top division, so we shall see. And we also need to consider injuries. They both need to stay healthy. That's just as much a part of the game as anything else. Speaking of hate, let's root for Tobizaru loss tonight. I'm hoping for double-digit losses. Mitch, what would we do without you? What would we do without you? We need this Tobizaru-ness of you. Good night, Paleosapien. Daikisho and Daikosho are brothers. The brother in Makusha debuting. That's pretty cool. All right, guys. It's been fun. Enjoy the rest of the tournament. I'll be posting in the posting section, so feel free to comment with me there. We're going to enjoy it, and I'm sure we'll have some sumo live streams in the off season like we do. We have our guest, the Bonsuke. You know, every once in a while I do a random, let's watch sumo videos, and so maybe we'll have that in April or something. So have a good night. Thank you all for coming. It's always fun because of you.